Hello and welcome to OWXL League Season 3, Week 6 on Nepal. We've got a champion tier game, the first for this week between Team 2K and Imperial. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, casting today with Zach of Space 26. Zach, how are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Glad to be here. I always enjoy watching these champion tier games, kind of the best of the best, and I think this especially is going to be a really good one.
Yeah, I completely agree. We've got Team 2K coming in, taking over for Atlas A, who dropped out of the league, I believe, last week, so adopting their 0-5 record, but obviously not any kind of indication about what we can expect from them. Imperial, on the other hand, is the former name of Sevenfold. They decided to make a team name change, but it's the same team you know and love, sitting 3-2, tied with Big Throws, a game behind Eternity Esports in a very tight champion tier. It's been excited to see a few of those games, and this is the first of two today. Big Throws and Eternity facing off later tonight in a Sunday night doubleheader, so make sure you stick around for that. But here we are for this game on Nepal, the weekly map. I think we've got the readies from both sides, so we'll get in just a second. But yeah, especially with the talent level in these two teams, Zach, what can we expect?
And I expect both these teams to kind of come out swinging, like you mentioned. This is going to be Team 2K's kind of first real game in here, so they definitely have something to prove, even though it is rather late in the season. This is, a lot of bragging rights riding on this game right here. But with Nepal, really any control point, a single player that is able to really go off can carry a team and really be a huge game changer. So I think each and every one of these players on both these teams is going to be looking to be that one player that makes a difference, and it should be really exciting.
Yeah, definitely, completely agree. And again, with the teams at this level, we do get really solid competitive gameplay, and a control point, the perfect place to start to showcase that ability. Team 2K is still, I think, waiting on just they have one person's communication working as well as they'd like it to before we get this started. But just so you guys remember, less than a week now for the free-for-all tournament. The signups for that have closed, so there's a form on the site, but any forms accepted today, I need to take that down, will not be counted. That ended yesterday, so if you're participating in that, make sure you are available Saturday, rather, the 17th. In the evening, so we can get that tournament kicked off, and you can check that out on the Twitch channel right here on the OWXL League channel. And yeah, that should be fun as well. It's our first free-for-all tournament. Zach, I think you're participating in that, aren't you?
I am really excited. Hopefully it'll go better than the last one we did, the 1v1 where I got knocked out the very first round, 0-5. So, fingers crossed that the bar low just only means I can get better, right?
Too true, yeah. You set the expectations pretty low. It's easy to exceed them. I'm actually not participating, so I think the moral of the story there is don't try, and you can't fail. But no, I'm kidding. I will just be casting that, so excited to see a lot of the competition out at the free-for-all tournament. And yeah, we try and do tournaments pretty regularly, so nice that we're due for another one, and I can bring that to you. But again, just waiting to get the final ready, so we're getting this game started just a little bit late. But like I said, the games this evening coming up for you. Pretty excited for those because, again, the champion tier has Eternity Esports just a game ahead, and a really good opportunity for them to create some space should Team 2K be able to beat Sevenfold, or rather Imperial, sorry. And if Big Throws then lose in the game later, Eternity Esports really kind of stakes their claim at the top. But later tonight, it is going to be that game, Eternity Esports and Big Throws at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then directly after that, Ryan's Rejects and Danny DeFito from the Challenger tier at 10 Eastern. So a lot of good Overwatch that we'll be able to bring you. And yeah, should be a good time. But I think we're just about ready. I think we're ready to go. We'll get it kicked off to Nepal.
Traveling to Nepal.
So again, on control points, we've seen a few of these, I think, just go kind of 2-0. I don't think we've been getting a ton of kind of like 2-1 wins on here. We did get a good one, I think, what was it, yesterday?
Yeah, last night.
But other than that, I think it's been pretty one-sided, so hopefully we get a pretty competitive match. But I mean, like we said, we get pretty good matchups in this challenger tier, or champion tier rather. And starting up here on a very boopable map, expect to see some Lucios come through as Pro V Gaming elects to go that direction. And on the other side, Regretsin going Lucio as well. As the comps start to shape up, it's pretty similar both sides, both with a Genji and a Diva so far. Soldier as well, we'll see if we get identical comps, or if they decide to change it up somewhat. But yeah, starting out here on the left-hand side, Team 2K, Pro V Gaming on Lucio, Winky-faced Diva going Diva, Kane 3344 on Soldier, the Mini Ramoso on Genji, and Mr. Muffin on Zenyatta, Cubido, going Winston.
It looks like Cubido.
Cubido?
I'll probably just call him away, to be honest, but yeah, Cubido is how I would say it. Four away?
Four away?
Yeah,
hard to say. For the other side, Imperial now, T2X going Genji. Moon on Diva, Little Hulk going Moira. Tulsa on Winston, Tracer is garbage, maybe going... Oh, there we go, there's Tracer. And Regretsin on Lucio.
All right, kicking it off here. Getting started. We do see a lot of quick-moving players on the side of Imperial, and you do see them try to push the point. That Winston, being the first one to engage, followed closely by the Diva Moira, just doing everything they can to keep Team 2K just getting to the point, pushing them back, and it looks like they're doing a pretty good job of that so far, as the points is about to unlock.
Yeah, Imperial coming out really strongly so far, and T2X cleaning up, getting good 2 in the feed, and continuing to do some work. As that control point opens up, easily goes Imperial's way, and Team 2K will have to retreat somewhat. You're exactly right, just came to the point very aggressively, kind of asserted their authority, pushed up, and even with the Lucio on the other side, able to kind of control that spawn side, and didn't give Team 2K really any traction on the point.
Yeah, I really liked how they pushed up early, and like you said, didn't even allow Team 2K to touch that point and even give them a chance to contest it.
There could be kills going the other direction now, though. As the pulse comes out, we'll take Winky-faced Diva out of mech, but now Lil Hulk down as a support for one side for Imperial. Pro Gaming goes down on the other side as well, and Winky-faced Diva now out of mech. Kind of going back and forth, but I think it's still Imperial with the control, though. Now Cubido on Roadhog, just maybe trying to get a little bit of percentage himself. Gets a quarter or so, but having to back off now that his team's not with him, will get melted by the incoming Imperial defenders. And 42% gone for them, a few ults to go, and Team 2K back at the choke.
Yeah, it was a valiant effort trying to back up there, however, it's quickly read by the Genji and the Diva, as well as the Tracer, just kind of turned around and get him out of the way pretty quickly. Might have been a problem, though, because now he's going to be staggered away from the rest of his team. Out does come the Dragon Blade, doing everything he can, do a little bit of damage, however, it is negated by the Zenyatta Transcendence.
Yeah, and a few of those ults wasted, but now the control point going the way of Team 2K as they try and build a little bit of control. It's a Dragon Blade on the other side, though, as Ramoso's trying to get a little bit of space. The self-destruct from Winky-faced Diva will catch one. And yeah, it looks like Team 2K may be moving into point now. They've got a little bit of an advantage with the sound barriers out coming out from both sides. I think they have the numbers on the point, but they've just got a few pesky members of Imperial to wrap up. It's now 86% gone for them, as I believe there's a good boot from Pro V Gaming onto Tulsa, now getting Moon Smug out of mech, and that could be the advantage they need to flip this point back.
I agree. However, they are going to have to target that Lucio if they want to be able to do anything. It looks like he does finally go down. Kane 3344 does get him out, as well as Tracer's garbage. It looks like in overtime they will be able to cap this back.
And better late than never, to be sure, able to earn a little bit of percentage here, but disadvantage in the ult department. It's just Kane's Pulse Bomb on the way and Winky-faced Diva close to another self-destruct to help them maintain control of the point. They have a bit of an uphill battle to go. 2 ults for the other side, though. T2X here with the Dragon Blade will look to try and create some space as that Diva Bomb goes awry for them. Swaps in the feed, however, both supports are now down for Imperial, so Team 2K may be able to come away with this fight.
Cubido does go down, though. We see Winky-faced Diva. Their only tank left trying to hold them off.
Another Dragon Blade coming out from T2X, trying to find a couple. Isn't quite able to connect with Tracer, but now Kane falling and looks for another, but not enough time with the Blade. Maybe not quite as effective as they wanted, but it will give them the advantage in the fight. It's now a Blade coming out from the other side, though, as Ramusu is able to pick up Moo, who just fell out of mech, got to second on Tulsa, really putting in work, and looks for another. But it's still Team 2K holding strong on the point. Pro V with some space, and now both Coalescence coming out. The Pulse Pump doesn't quite connect. The Tracer is garbage, able to wrap up on Mr. Muffin. yeah, just ults coming out on either side, and it's just Team 2K holding on to the point for as long as they possibly can, knowing if they do lose this team fight, this first round will go to Imperial.
And that second Sunbear, I think, really helped out Imperial, doing what they can to kind of push Team 2K back off of the point. It looks like they are more or less successful. That Lucio is still there, though. No one's really contesting the point. There we go. Get back into the point. The Tracer is still on there, but he gets taken down by Tracer's garbage. And now it's just comes down to focusing on Lucio. As soon as they say that, they are able to, and flips back to Imperial. As the overtime meter ticks down, they are kind of making a last-ditch effort. However, the minute Ramzu does go out, the Angry Monkey comes on the point to contest as long as possible. However, he's getting focused pretty severely. And yeah, we do see slowly but surely 2K doing what they can. Out comes a Diva Bomb, though. Not able to pick anyone up, but kind of, tries to clear the point a little bit. Kills going, kind of back and forth. Opposite Diva Bomb coming out now, and he's able to pick up two. Tulsa and T2K get out, and Moon also goes down, though.
Yeah, that was a fantastic individual effort for Ramosu, just trying to get back into point, able to get there, and now taking out two supports with the Dragon Blade and holding on to that point when all hope was lost. They did actually lose possession of it, able to earn it right back there, and now above 90% themselves, 3 of their members on fire. No ultimates on the board, Little Hulk close to a coalescence for Imperial, and that could be what they need to engage. But now it's at 99-99 overtime as Imperial commits to this fight. Coalescence now coming out, and people are scattering a little bit, but it looks like Team 2K still holding strongly on the point so far. They pick up the Pulse Bomb there from Kane as one goes the other way. Tracer's garbage grabbing a good double on both supports for Team 2K, and they could be at a disadvantage here. Difficult to tell who really has the edge, but yeah, Tracer's garbage once again just kind of going off now. A late sound barrier coming off from Propi. That might be exactly what Team 2K needs to stay alive in this point. They definitely don't have the numbers. It's now the Dragon Blade coming up from T2X. Looks to clean up these last remaining stragglers. The capture point starts to flip back the way of Imperial. Overtime meter ticks down, and what a first round. Imperial coming away with the first win there.
Wow, that was really impressive. We mentioned earlier that both teams would be putting up a fight, and they surely did. However, I think at the end it came down to that Pulse Bomb that Tracer's garbage landed on Lucio as he was trying to do his sound barrier, wasn't able to get it off, and quickly got their other support, the Moira, as well. And yeah, just cleaned up after that. Really good job from Tracer's garbage right there at the end.
Yeah, and just impressive effort all the way around. And also obviously trying to earn it back there for Team 2K late and doing a really good job of getting into space, but forcing that overtime doesn't quite go their direction. They'll hope to bounce back here, and we kind of see that. We saw that in the game last night as well, where the team that won first, Spicy Boys, came out really strongly in the first round, weren't quite able to cap, and then came back to win the second two. So it'll be up to Imperial to hold on to this lead, and Team 2K don't want to drop their first round of competitive play here in the OWXL.
Yeah, T2X is going to be switching to that fair, trying to get as much damage as possible. On a map like this, where it's all open up top, I think it's a really smart strategic move, as long as, we can stay alive. The fight is starting to break out now, though. Looks like they're going to be, kind of pushing back. Yeah, looks like they're kind of pushing back Team 2K as this point starts to open up.
Yeah, and unfortunately now Winky Face Diva going out of mech because kind of lighting up the feed, getting at least 2 or 3 kills in that first engagement, really a big part of the reason why Team 2K has, I think, a little bit of the advantage coming into this first control point. Yeah, as it opens up here, I think they will be able to cap first, and again, Winky Face Diva doing a good job of getting the kills necessary, at least the final kills, making it difficult for Imperial to come into point, and Team 2K will wrap up this first take. Already with an ult, Kane on the with the Pulse Bomb for Imperial, could use this to engage, as now it's Cubido in a bit of trouble on Winston trying to find his healers as Team 2K galvanizes as Imperial comes into this attack.
Yeah, I think Imperial's doing a really good job of staying together and pushing together as a team. Out comes Coalescence to keep them all alive. The answer, though, with a Diva Bomb who does take out Little Hulk. Tracer's garbage quickly goes down by Can334 after that. Ult coming out left and right now on this point as, they're kind of struggling to take this away from Team 2K.
Yeah, and somehow Provi Gaming alive, but now finally falls through the Primal Rage from Tulsa. Now it's a Coalescence coming out on the other side here for Mr. Muffin, trying to find a few of the kills, and still it's Imperial trying to gain the percentage with Team 2K, now eclipsing 50% in a good spot as Little Hulk now falls via the Pulse Bomb from Kane. Another Dragon Blade now coming out for Ramosu, trying to catch a little bit, is able to grab Regrets in as the second support goes down for Imperial, but then falls, isn't quite able to get maybe as much of that as he wanted. it still looks like in this fight it's Imperial's advantage, but they finally do flip the point back. 65% gone for Team 2K, and yeah, just a really long second team fight. Imperial able to come away with the advantage though.
And now we see Team 2K trying to push up through this top little, corridor, seeing what they can to get some picks. However, it looks like Imperial is doing a good job of staying mobile and not allowing 2K to really get any damage into a single player, and it seems to have worked out fairly well for them. However, 4away is able to get Regret Sin as that Lucio, and I think getting that support down will be pretty big for them. They need to start moving to the point though soon if they want to be able to take this back.
Yeah, and mobile's the exact word. You can describe this comp looking at T2X on Genji, and the Diva Moira Winston Tracer means they can move around quite a bit and doing exactly that. But now as the Primal Rage coming out, finally Tulsa goes down and kills going the way of Team 2K as the control point starts to take that direction. I think we'll have the advantage here, and they flip it back at 65%. With 3 ults as well, so looking to be able to defend well here. It's 2 ults on the other side. It will be 3 once Lil Hulk earns the Coalescence for this next engagement. But still 2 support ults for the current defenders, Team 2K. You like to think they'll be able to hold on to this point and take it into overtime. They really need to win this team fight to even up this round on the ball.
Yeah, I think we've got time for just about one more team fight, and Imperial is coming in full force right now. Out comes the dueling Coalescence as well as the Diva Bomb, try to clear off that point. And slowly but surely we see Imperial starting to move on there. Tracer's Garbage, the first one, followed closely by Regret Swin. And out comes the Dragon Blade by 2KX. I'm sorry, T2K. T2X? Yeah, there we go. Third time's the charm. Kills going back and forth right now. However, it looks like it's going Imperial's way. Kane is able to get Lucio and Diva out of her mech, though. However, yeah, there it is. They are able to flip it back in overtime.
Yeah, I like the pulse bomb from Kane, but not quite enough to tip the point their favor. And again, a last-ditch effort there for Imperial to hold on to the point. 99% for Team 2K, and they'd hate to lose here with the 99%. They just need to win one more team fight, really, to come back in. And now they're going to come back in very quickly and aggressively, directly to point. They're already starting to earn 3/4 of the percentage, and it'll be Imperial caught kind of blindsided a little bit if they're not able to wrap up this engagement. But now Mission Muffin falls immediately as the Dragon Blade coming out from Ramosu, trying to find a little bit of space. Now both Moira's down as Lil Hulk falls. They are able to flip the point back, and I think they're able to clear everybody out. No one's able to get back to the point. They turned it back in the middle of that team fight and able to grab that last little percentage point as Imperial falls off the point. So yeah, now 1-1 here on Nepal, having to play for in the third round.
Yeah, we saw Imperial was expecting Team 2K to take that top route again as they did previously. However, just with the short amount of time they had, they're like, nope, let's go straight to the middle. That's exactly what they did. Caught Imperial off guard and just rushed the point and took it back quickly before the team fight even really finished breaking out.
All right, and pretty similar comps. Doesn't look like anybody's changing much of anything. Now Lil Hulk going, oh yeah, Mercy, and trying to do the pharmacy combo with T2X on Pharaoh. We'll see if that works out for them. Tracer's Garbage now going to Reaper, get a little bit more damage in on maybe Cubido, who's giving them some issues on the Winston. Coming directly in, both teams with Lucio once more, and coming to point very quickly, and the fight breaking out immediately. Short point opening in 15 seconds or so. Nobody wanted to fall down to give their team kind of be a disadvantage to their team, but now Mr. Muffin falling, those Moiras have been squishy and definitely getting targeted pretty early on. But now as Tracer's Garbage falls, they won't have as much damage coming in. But they do have the kills. It's 5v4 in Imperial's favor as Kane falls, but now 4v4 Tulsa falls. And it's really just going back and forth. No one really has an out-and-out advantage. The control point opening and going Imperial's way. Lil Hulk able to come in with a cheeky res on Tulsa, and I think they'll be able to wrap up this fight. Yeah, now Ramosu down, but 10% away from a Dragon Blade and should be able to use that. Regretsin will have a sound barrier to try and combat it, though. Other than that, no one really too close to ults. Kane with a pulse bomb maybe in hand pretty soon. Now as Winky Face Diva switches Widow, that's an interesting pick. We'll see if that is the answer to the fair on the other side. And now coming back in for this engagement, Ramosu trying to look for an opportunity to use this Dragon Blade best counter just yet. Now going in, sees the Lucio and catches a Regret Sin. trying to avoid the Diva Bomb and does just that. Coming in, trying to get additional damage with the Primal Rage coming out from Tulsa will kind of negate a lot of that blade damage coming through, but still the support kill is important. However, res by Little Hulk means it won't be as effective as they would have liked. It's still Imperial's control of the point, 55% gone for them, and continuing to wrap up these kills as Team 2K will have to back off.
I think Imperial did a good job of kind of galvanizing and regrouping after that last game. And yeah, they're showing it right here, 65% to the 0. I'm not sure the Widow is working out quite as well as they would have hoped. I don't know if she's got any picks yet. Maybe they need to like switch up their comp a little bit. I'm not entirely sure, but they're gonna have to do something quickly if they want to take this point back.
And T2X going in and not really being too challenged on the Pharah, able to get a kill, tried to use the Rocket Barrage, maybe caught a little bit of the corner and couldn't get as much damage in. Now Tracer's garbage with the Pulse Bomb on that Widow will again negate that ad. And you may be right, they need to go more traditional hit scan. Now switching back to Diva, so we'll have to eat that 55% or so ult charge, now 91% to go, and not a lot of time to deliberate, so difficult, but must have been done. 5% to go, we'll see if anybody from Team 2K can get back here. And now the Primal Rage coming out from Cubido, just try and keep a little bit of that stagger going, getting in after the Mercy, but not quite able to find that pesky Little Hulk. Mission Muffin and Provi both going down for Team 2K. They have no healers, now it's just cleanup work for Imperial.
Yeah, after we saw the 4-way, pop that Primal Rage, we saw everyone get off the point. They weren't really worried, though. They were more or less just waiting it out. They got back onto the point before it flipped, and then were able to take him out quickly. Out comes the Diva Bomb to kind of seal this up. Profi Gamer is taken out, and he was the last person on point, making this Imperial's game.
Yeah, solid round from them, and just really kind of took it by the scruff of the neck after winning back and forth a little bit, but I think always a little bit dominant there and able to win on Nepal. And Winky Face Diva, I think the switch back to Diva at the end there was going to be helpful for them, but the Widow pick might have put the nail in the coffin, getting a good play of the game here, but not able to win the wars. Imperial walk away with that win. It'll be Kings Row, I believe, the next map coming out from Team 2K, the losing team, and we'll get some reflections on this first game when we come back. And welcome back. A tightly contested game on Nepal saw Imperial pull away with the 2-1 win over Team 2K. So if you're looking at the score right there, it is inaccurate. Check that real quick for you. Solomon Spades with you, and excited to get the second game kicked off. Already the map coming out from Team 2K after having lost that first round is Kings Row. And I like the hybrid pick from them. I think the control point really wasn't the issue. It's just a very tight game. They just came out on the wrong side. So we'll see if they have a little bit more in store for us here on Kings Row. But what are your biggest takeaways? What do you think the biggest issue was on Nepal?
Well, definitely that Widow pick at the very end. I understand what they were trying to do, trying to get that fair out of the sky. However, it was negated pretty easily, and probably should have switched back to Diva a little bit sooner than they did. I think that was kind of a problem there with that fourth round. However, the first two, they really, I think, did a good job. They barely lost in the very first round. They made it all the way to overtime, but just weren't able to quite get the picks they needed to there at the very end. We saw them win the second round. Did a really good job with that. Played as a team together. So yeah, I would definitely wouldn't count out Team 2K. However, Imperial did a very good job, especially in that last round, of kind of sticking together. I think the Mercy was a good pick. She was able to res people basically more or less as soon as they went down, kind of negating whatever DPS that Team 2K was trying to put in. So yeah, I think this is going to be a really good match. Like you said, the hybrid would be a really good pick for them. Kind of give us a different strategy, different frame of mind as far as what they need to do to complete their objectives. So I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, and I'm glad you called out the reses, because especially with how Mercy's been nerfed, so to speak, in this last update or so, being able to get those reses is not as much of a priority, but still incredibly helpful. And if you're able to find a good position to find, or to be able to get those reses off, obviously it does help swing the fight your favor. So Lil Hulk able to find good pockets of just safety and get those reses on tanks, especially, where I think just crucial to helping them take that game. So something that Team 2K will have to be aware of. But now making a swap as Mr. Muffin coming out for its Nika. So let's see if that changes the shape of their team a little bit. Obviously they had a gameplay coming in, already picking King's Row, and know that this may be the 6th that they need to make it happen. So
Now enter.
see if King's Row is the answer, but I think we do have the readies from both sides, so we'll get them into the game. Again, if you guys are just joining us, this is a champion tier game between Team 2K and Imperial. Imperial taking the win on Nepal to go up 1-0 in a best-of-3 series. And a doubleheader tonight from the champion tier and challenger tier. The other side of the Big Throws and Eternity Esports facing off tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then directly after, it's Danny DeFito and I believe Ryan's Rejects from the challenger tier. So excited for that. Should be good games all around. So Sunday night league matches.
Yeah, I gotta love Sundays. Everyone is a little bit freer of the schedule, so you get a lot more games in. Yeah, thought it was a fun day. Fun for casting, fun for playing. Really excited for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and as the attack starts to shape up here, it's T2X on Moira. I will see if that sticks, so I'm going to go Genji and a lot of other DPS heroes. So we'll see if that's a flexibility or if they'll default elsewhere. But it looks like it's Tracer's Garbage goes Roadhog, then maybe their comp. We'll see if they stick with that. The defense, though, usually one a little bit more reliable to pick to begin with. Proby Gaming going Lucio once more. Cubido now switching to Zarya. Winky Phase Diva going Reinhardt. Kane now on Soldier. Ramosu still on Genji, and it's Nika now coming in playing support on Mercy, and a more robust defense immediately than we saw on Nepal from Team 2K.
Yeah, I think they wanted to kind of answer that Mercy pick with a Mercy pick of their own, saw how effective it was, and are hoping to emulate that on this defensive hold right here.
Incoming in 30 seconds.
And I think it's definitely a good pick for them. For the attackers, if T2X decides to go maybe an early Widow, try and get a pick, did switch back. We'll see if that comes through. Good flexibility if this is actually their comp. Moon going on Diva, but now Lil Hulk tanking instead of healing, and Tulsa healing instead of tanking. Tracer's Garbage on tank instead of DPS, and Regret Sin going tank instead of healers. So yeah, a lot of flexibility coming out from Imperial. We'll see if that pays off for them, if they're able to catch some members of Team 2K off guard.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I mean, a lot of times we see, people have their own roles and what they do, and yeah, this kind of flexibility is always really exciting.
Yeah, coming in very quickly and authoritatively behind the speed of Tulsa on the Lucio, coming directly to point as Imperial already starting to really assert themselves. I think they actually are winning this fight. It looks like they have the positioning well, but not a lot of members of Team 2K falling to make it easier for them. Still breaking out as they try and earn some sticking percentage, but a few members low. I don't know if they have the healing to maintain this, as Cupido on Zarya is really getting a lot of space through. But now an early coalescence coming in from T2X could be incredibly helpful to get a lot of the damage back through, as Mini Ramoso comes by with a Dragon Blade of his own. Not able to connect just yet. A lot of the healing coming through from T2X on the coalescence, kind of negating a lot of the damage from the blade. I think they will be able to wrap up this point.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's the Mercy going down. Proby Gaming just went down as well. Ramosu also went down. Looks like they should be able to take this and start their push here in a second.
Yeah, and already starting to push in on those tanks. It's Cubido and Winky Face Diva both with ultimates, but no time to use them as the rest of the team is still kind of grouping up, and the payload's not even close yet. And now it's Moon Moon in a tough spot out of the mech. Gets taken down by Ramosu, switched off the Genji to a Reaper. Trying to get a little bit more damage in on this triple tank, or not quad tank comp coming out from Imperial. But it seems to be working out for them so far. They were able to take that point very quickly. And pushing the payload through the streets phase against the 4 ultimates from the defenders. Good combination here. The shatter coming through from both sides, but I think the one for Team 2K a little bit more effective. Winky Face Diva, though, actually now going down with self-destruct. But the sound barrier also from Pro V Gaming really helpful in trying to wrap up this fight. A lot of ultimates coming out here from Team 2K, but a lot of members of Imperial still standing. Now the Coalescence coming out on the other side. It's just a few members here of Team 2K on their feet, and I think they still may go the direction of Imperial.
Yeah, Team 2K used quite a bit of ults, but we're not really able to do anything. We're not able to get the picks they needed to from them, and yeah, they're a little bit wasted as Imperial starts to push this payload even more.
Yeah, a little disappointing. They had a ton of ults, but now it's just the Death Blossom from Ramosu and it's Nika with Valkyrie to try and contest this before the second checkpoint. We'll be able to do maybe just that. Regretson falling as the tank with one side, but the shield from Winky Face Diva now not helping them as the Reinhardt falls. So Imperial looking to continue this aggressive push and wrap B up quickly. They've got over just about 3 minutes and 45 seconds or so on the clock. So in a good position so far.
Looks like there's a Kane switch to a Mei, try to keep a hold on this payload and contest it as long as possible. And yeah, looks to be working out pretty well for them so far.
Yeah, but now it's almost Imperial staggering a little bit, losing a couple late, and now they'll have to wait for the rest of those to regroup to really come back in. But Ramosu gets caught with a tough pin, and that could be just as difficult for the defenders. If Maywall tries to catch Gretson off guard, but able to get away. We'll see if Imperial can regroup here. 3 ultimates for them, though. Both support ults, the Coalescence and Sound Barrier. Tracer's Garbage can add a whole hog, and it'll be Little Hold's shattered about 20% or so. For the defenders, very close to having 5 ults by the time this breaks out. Kane, who just switched to the Mei, won't have that Blizzard for a little bit, but the rest still coming through. A shatter from behind from Winky Face Diva combined with the Death Blossom means Ramosu gets a good double there, and that may just end this attack here from Imperial.
Yeah, it looks like it as Tracer's Garbage goes down and Moon Moon and Regret follow closely behind him. Really good cleanup on the side of Team 2K to hold it right before the second checkpoint.
So now trying to eat a little bit more time off the clock, 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and they've kind of stalled the payload here for a little bit, and we'll be encouraged by how well they've been defending so far.
Yeah, it's nice to see they responded quickly, and they kind of changed their comp a little bit to combat what they saw Imperial doing. And yeah, it seems to work out for them pretty well so far. It's always a little bit difficult right before this checkpoint because they do have the spawn advantage on the defense, and yeah, it's a long walk for the attack. Out comes the Earth Shatter, though, really big, is able to get 2 or 3 in that. However, I'm not sure if they were actually able to pick anybody from it. Answered with a Zarya ult, who's able to capture 2 of them, Pro V Gaming and Car. Pro V goes down, Car able to stay alive, and yeah, kind of kills going back and forth right now. Regretson, more or less the last person to yeah, and we do see him retreating now. He realizes he was all alone. Get some health backs, kind of regroup the rest of his team. They need a good push if they want to be able to take this. They're down to about 1.5 minutes.
Well, it was carnage on the point as a lot of those ultimates came out. The Sound Barrier definitely helpful in negating the damage from the Shatter, and I think there was the other Graviton came through as well, but none of them really all that effective, and it was Team 2K able to wrap that up. No ultimates on the board, though. As I say, that Moon Moon on the Tracer with the Pulse Bomb that could try and help with this initiation. Really nothing to speak of on the other side until Pro V Gaming will get another Sound Barrier, but now with the double going the way of Team 2K as Pro V and Winky Face get in on the action, they may be able to wrap up another fight here. Nika is able to get the res on Ramosu, which means they're still back up to a pretty solid team. And the defense cleans up once more as this next engagement will come after we pass the minute mark on the clock.
60 seconds.
You see a couple switches here. Tracer's Garbage has switched to the McCree, as well as Moon Moon going Tracer. So, trying to answer the comp that they're up against, and as you said, it's probably the last fight. Out comes the Blizzard, as well as a Sound Barrier to reinforce Team 2K entire damage. They are able to pull out an Earth Shatter. They get 2 in that, however, it looks like they're not really able to do a whole lot with that. However, 2X, Regret, and Tulsa all go down there at the very end. With only 30 seconds left, they're going to have to do something fast if they want to be able to take this to the second checkpoint.
They might have been trying to bait a few ults out as well. For the defenders now, it's just the Valkyrie, which obviously is very helpful. Incredibly crucial for them to hold on to, and Cubido's Graviton, which they can also just come in with damage. The Little Hulk had a shadow there. I thought may have used it in that last fight, decided to hold on to it. It's good patience, because now they'll have about 4 ults as this fight breaks out, and may have all of them at their disposal. Everybody over 70% or so. Now it's a Graviton coming through, answered by the Sound Barrier. Graviton on the other side as well as the Shatter comes out, but I don't know if it really caught anybody. Already, though, the defenders have the advantage as McCree goes down. Pulse Bomb doesn't quite connect. Still ultimates coming through as T2X using another Coalescence and has had quite a few of those. Another Shatter I think goes awry as Ramosu gets pinned by Little Hulk. Again, difficult to tell who has the advantage, but now in overtime, Imperial know they need the check one if they want to try and keep this fight alive. Another Graviton coming through, and that's a lot of damage coming out from the attackers, and I think Imperial will be able to clean up the rest of Team 2K and cap this point.
Yeah, really impressive. We were just saying they need to do something, and that's exactly what they did. Good ult usage from them. I was kind of surprised to see 2K push as far forward as they did, and it allowed Regretson and Moon to kind of get behind them and get onto the point to start moving it forward, and kind of force them to look in 2 different directions. And yeah, it ended up being their downfall as we start here on the 3rd section.
And it's still Imperial in a good spot. They didn't really commit too much there, trying to use a few ults as Tracer is garbage coming out with the Deadeye, tries to find a couple. Hasn't connected yet. Moon with a Pulse Bomb, Little Hulk still with that Shatter, and they'll have another Sound Barrier as well. Now the Shatter coming through may connect with a couple. The Pulse Bomb from the attack will cause some damage, but now it's a Death Blossom going the other direction, and that is huge coming out from Mini Ramosu to completely stop that attack in its tracks. And yeah, just what a play right there. Everything to play for, though, as the payload starts to come up onto that final section. We've seen Imperial attack really strongly, but we've seen the defense come through for Team 2K pretty good, able to eat quite a bit of time in that B checkpoint, and now an opportunity here to just keep them to just 2 points and have a chance to win this game, even up the series. But Imperial still with 3 ultimates as a Shadow comes out from Winky-faced Diva. We'll pick it up here, and the defenders could shut them down.
And that was a bit odd. We did see the Shatter and the Pulse come out at the same time. Doesn't seem like it really matters that, though, as they're able to clean up the entire team. Moon being the last one down on that Junkrat, and yeah, they're able to hold them right before this 3rd checkpoint.
Yeah, and I think a really solid job there. The Death Blossom coming through. We saw Mini Ramosu come in from the back and find a really good opportunity to completely eliminate the attackers, and I think that was just went a long way to stop that fight. It's a good defense from Team 2K. Or, yeah, just looking to cap the point here to tie this game up.
Although because of how far Imperials was able to push it, Team 2K is going to have to get it just about all the way there. So we're going to need to see a really strong offensive showing from them if they want to be able to take this 2nd game.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know they have some fight in them. Saw that on Nepal where they were able to take a lot of those team fights. So definitely ready to trade blows with Imperial and answer back on their map pick to complete the map, get the 3 points, and yeah, set us up for an exciting tie-breaking round in the series. Now for the attackers coming out, it's Pro V Gaming on Lucio, Cubido on Zarya, Winky-faced Diva going Reinhardt, Kane on Roadhog, and the Mini Ramosu on Diva fills out the quad tank. If they do decide to stick with it, it's Nika on the 2nd support there to try and keep those tanks alive. For the defenders, T2X on Reaper, Moon on Zarya, Little Hulk going Reinhardt, Tulsa, and Tracer's garbage on the supports there, Lucio more respectively, Regretson on Soldiers. Do you think Winky-faced Diva went toward just do that, like build a turret and see if somebody would, from the defense would hear it?
No, I really don't know. No, I really... There we go. All right.
Yeah, obviously not
quad tank.
But trying to...
I think the quad tank is going to be an interesting little pick here. They don't have a Moira, which we've seen a lot with the quad tanks. However, they're just trying to push on the point as quickly as possible. They're able to get behind. It's Nika just doing whatever he can to keep them all healed and keep their health up. They are getting pushed back a little bit here as Diva gets taken out of mech from Regret Sin. And yeah, we see them just kind of hanging back, not really doing a whole lot to push on the point. And looks like the kills are going to be going Imperial's way so far.
Yeah, I think just getting similar shots on that attack from Team 2K relative to the attack from Imperial. We just saw Imperial swarm through the hotel and really as a unified force, just like Locust, go and attack the point and really gain control early. Where in this fight, Team 2K came a little bit more timidly. They got spread out immediately, and then Imperial just needed to clean up. But an early shatter now coming out from Winky Face Diva, I believe, won't quite connect. Now one from the other side, though, Hulk trying to get some space through, does catch a few, but then falls. Sound barrier coming out here from Pro V Gaming, just trying to keep the rest of the attack alive. The Death Blossom here from T2X will not be as effective as they would have liked. And now they're really starting to earn the percentage on the point. Team 2K may be able to clean up the rest of these Imperial defenders.
So as you say that, when you see the sound barrier come out from Tulsa to try to keep his team alive, the sound barrier comes out as well from Gregson. He quickly is taken out there, not really able to do as much with it as he wanted to, as the mini Remu pops a Diva Bomb. Not able to connect, but able to keep people off of the points. So it's kind of going back and forth now. However, it looks like Team 2K is doing a good job of cleaning up as this, as they're able to take this point and start their push.
Yeah, I expect to see Moon switch there, unless that was just it is switching to do it Roadhog. I'm about to say that was kind of a fat finger grab after the fight was clearly lost, but switching off Zarya thinking that the Roadhog would be the advantage they need to break through the attack from Team 2K. But if you're Team 2K, you've got to take a lot of positives from that initial push, able to get onto the payload section, and now all to do to get it to the end of the point there and fight for this third round.
Absolutely. Their first push probably wasn't exactly what they wanted. A little bit more timid. The second one, however, they did a really good job of using their ults, kind of in sequence, and allowed them to take that point.
And now the Coalescence coming out in a tight area for Tracer's Garbage, trying to push back the rest of the attackers looking for space in the alley. Niga takes a shotgun to the face as T2X wraps up that support, and the defenders coming back with some force, trying to force Team 2K back to spawn.
It looks like they're doing a pretty good job of that. Diva having to kind of back off and regroup with the rest of her team as she was the last one on the point. Tulsa doing what he can, a little bit of poke damage. We see him backing off now as well. Really good hold from the defense so far. The attack wasn't able to get the payload very far past that first little archway, and now they're going to need to regroup and push together with that barrier if they want to be able to take it back.
Yeah, and with the ult advantage, Team 2K now pushing in with the whole hog from Kane, trying to create some space. The sound barrier, however, from Tulsa will help negate a lot of the damage coming in from the shadow from Winky Face, but it's still the attackers doing what they can to create some room. T2X coming in with the Death Blossom does connect on Nika, and that's an important kill for them. The rest of the Team 2K players shrugging it off and continuing to try and get some of these kills. Moon here with a whole hog, able to earn that pretty quickly after switching off the Zarya in that last fight, using it here to try and zone out some of these remaining attackers, but and getting healed well by the Coalescence coming in from Tracer's Garbage. Finally does fall as it's Team 2K coming back to the payload, and a little bend don't break for them. I thought for sure Imperial would be able to wrap up that fight, but Team 2K able to get the kills they needed and they continue to push the payload.
It was really smart game sense from them as well. Like you said, I thought they were going to be able to win the fight. It looked like they were backing off to regroup. However, once they got a pick, and maybe it was two, they're like, all right, never mind, let's go back in here, let's restart this push, and exactly what they did. They kind of cleaned up, and it looks like they should be able to get the second checkpoint. I'm sorry, the first checkpoint.
Just decisive from them, and open communication means they've got 4 minutes to get into this final section, all to play for here, and the game in their hands, so to speak, on their map pick. And important for them to get the win here, to take it to the third game, and definitely all to do, but in a good spot. They've got 5 ults, Pro V Gaming 25% away from another, able to block the shatter, I think. Oh no, actually did come through and landed on Winky Face Diva, now in a tough spot, trying to get healed, and comes out with a shatter of its own. Catches a couple, but I don't know if it's really going to be enough for them, though now getting the kills. You see Cupido coming in with a nice double. The self-destruct coming through doesn't quite connect, but still Team 2K pushing this payload through the third section. Maybe able to wrap this up. Just barreling in, the music will start here, so it starts getting suspenseful. The rest of the defenders coming back in to try and contest as long as possible. One of their 2 ults comes out now as Redson with the tactical visor tries to find some space, but Pro V Gaming's sound barrier should negate all of that damage. Its ults coming out on either side now as the Valkyrie from Nika trying to heal up the rest of the attackers. The Death Blossom doesn't get as much damage as they would have liked, but the Coalescence coming through from Tracer's Garbage, just trying to keep the rest of the defenders alive. A nice res here onto Winky Face Diva from its Nika, and difficult to find space for those reses, but doing just that. And now it's just Tulsa and the other support there, Tracer's Garbage, on the payload, trying to contest as long as possible, but I think Team 2K may be able to wrap this up.
And it looks like a valiant effort, lots of ults coming out on either side. However, in the end, Team 2K is able to take this map, so really impressive. And we're going on to Game 3. Wow.
Play of the game.
And a lot of contenders for the play of the game, but most are coming through here and able to really come in probably with the blade. All right, not even 19% to it means just coming in with vanilla kills, able to really cause some problems, and it's a good combination of team kills from there. Obviously, Zarya never really gets the credit for those grabs in those types of plays of the game, but good awareness there to get that in from Cubido on the Zarya. And we'll get the map pick from Imperial when we come back. And welcome back, Sultan and Spades with you here. 1-1 between Team 2K and Imperial from the champion tier. And an exciting game so far. Imperial, an established team, formerly Sevenfold, changed their name earlier in the season, coming out 3-2, and definitely have established themselves in the champion tier. Team 2K, newcomers, taking over the 0-5 Atlas A's dismal record and showing that they can contend with the higher teams in the division. But yeah, really impressive from them. What do you think we may see from Imperial in this third map?
It wouldn't surprise me if they did another control point or a 2CP. They seem like they have some really aggressive pushes, and I think that can work out well in their favor. However, I definitely want to see Imperial kind of play to their strengths more. Well, we mentioned it's always fun to see people flex. I think that might have been something that kind of bit them in the butt last time. And maybe not playing some of their best characters cost them, I almost want to say, in that second game.
Yeah, we did kind of see them switch it up completely. A lot of healers going tanks, tanks going DPS. And again, at this level, I'm sure that a lot of the players are really flexible. But yeah, that could have been the difficulty for them there. It is going to be Oasis coming out, so another control point. And they did win on Nepal, so you got to think this pick favors them. And just going with something that they know, they've got a good chance of winning.
Although, if you look back at Nepal, I wouldn't even say that this necessarily favors Imperial, just because Team 2K, did a really good job showing up. They almost won the first map. They did win the second map, and then, they did kind of get crushed in the third one, but I definitely think they have a dog in this fight if it is a control point.
Yeah, and again, that just may be the difference maker for them. I think we do actually have the readies for both sides already. So we'll get to that control point. Also, I said it to invite only, just random people coming into the lobby.
Well, such great games, they, everyone wants to watch.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what it is. I like your, your perspective, Isaac. You did bring up a valid point, though. That first control point game on Nepal definitely going to walk in the park for either side. And not a guarantee that Imperial will be able to walk away with this, but we often see control points go this third map. And yeah, again, I wouldn't say it favors them, but a good chance to win here. Obviously, proving they've already done it could be a little psychological, but now it's Team 2K with the momentum, so really a number of factors at play.
Yeah, I would definitely say this could be anyone's game, and that's what makes it so exciting. Both these teams have really shown what they're capable of and shown how good they are at Overwatch. And so, yeah, this should be a lot of fun to watch, and looking forward to it.
And coming out immediately, it's Pro V Gaming once again with that Lucio. Cubido on Winston, Winky Face Diva, going Diva. Kane on Tracer, Mini Ramosu on Genji, and it's Nika now on Mercy. It is interesting to note Team 2K did not have its Nika on the first round. They had, I think it's Mr. Muffin instead. So that could be the change needed to tip them over the line here in this control point. For the other side, Imperial T2X going Genji, Moon, Smug on Diva, Lil Hulk going Moira, Tulsa on Winston, Tracer's Garbage on Tracer, Regretson going Lucio.
So we're kind of back to what we've seen before. A lot of these players, kind of the same comps. They know what they are. They're good at what they do. And kind of back to what we expect from them.
So now all to play for. Again, Team 2K coming to the league, wanting to get a win early here. And Imperial with all to play for, trying to keep up with Eternity Esports, a game ahead of them at the top of the table. Eternity Esports still yet to play tonight, so important that Imperial here just keeps winning. Don't worry about the games around them. But now Tracer's Garbage getting some kills there. Kane falling, and now it's 2 down for either side at 4v4 as the point opens up here in just a few seconds. Now pivoting to the point, it's Winky Face Diva getting the kill on T2X, and I think it's Team 2K with the advantage so far.
It does seem that way. Doing a really good job. Just kind of need to get Tulsa now. So Winston on the point kind of flips it back so they start earning. However, he does have to retreat because he doesn't have a team behind him that he needs. Tracer's Garbage is onto the point now, doing what he can. However, in the end, the point goes the way of Team 2K.
Yeah, and it was just, I think, just one kill advantage that helped them take that point early. A few members of Imperial falling early on, and Team 2K again off to a good start, getting the momentum from that second round. And looking to wrap this up here, the Pulse Bomb brother coming out onto Moon from that Kane Tracer, able to take Moon out of mech, and that's a good start for them to continue defending this point. Oh, there we go. And yeah, it's Cubido that could continue to defend with a Primal Rage. It's 3, now maybe 4 ults as Ramosu comes in with the Dragon Blade here pretty soon. The Self-Destruct grabs 2, Little Hulk and T2X both falling. Winky Face Diva helps to continue this defense at the point. The Self-Destruct on the other side catches no one as Pro V Gaming Sound Barrier continues to bolster the defenders. And yeah, coming up on 50% or so, they still have the Dragon Blade, Kane's Pulse Bomb, and Sneak will have a Valkyrie soon, and things are looking really good for Team 2K.
But as you say, that Winky Face does get taken out of mech. Cubido is able to take out Regretson. Out comes that Dragon Blade you mentioned earlier. He's pushing up, trying to get as many picks as possible, not even allow them to get through this little choke point past their spawn. Really good job from Team 2K so far this round.
Yeah, and Imperial's really getting harassed, not able to find any space on the point, and Team 2K not really giving them an inch to work with. They do have a few ultimates though. The Pulse Bomb from Kane. T2X didn't see it, gets caught there, and now they'll have to regroup to have their full 6. Already up to 75% though, as Team 2K really just a completely different control point team, I think, than we saw in Nepal.
I'd have to agree with you there. And you mentioned how important momentum can be. I think winning King's Row was really big for them, and it's showing right here.
And obviously still a lot to play for, but just a more aggressive, assertive team as Winky Face goes directly in and takes down Moon Smug. Once again, eliminating that full 6 opportunity, and now it's a last ditch. Primal Rage coming out from Tulsa, just try and earn as much of the space as possible as the Self-Destruct comes through. Ultimates on either side, again, as the fight really kind of closing out here, and Imperial needs this round in order to stay in this game. You don't want to be caught out behind too early, but no ultimates for the current attackers as the defenders here. Team 2K have 2, now 3 as Pro V Gaming uses a sound barrier. It's looking really good for the blue team, and I think they may be able to take this.
You have the numbers advantage, so the Hulk does go down. Moon just gets taken out of mech, and out comes another Dragon Blade from the mini. So yeah, really good job right now. All the kills going the way of Team 2K, and they should be able to wrap this up here.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. 100-0 in Imperial's pick on Oasis, and a strong attack from Team 2K. We're just showing how it's done and looking to wrap up the second round. Do it in 2. Yeah, really impressive from Team 2K, and now Imperial having gone up that first game on Nepal, facing defeat if they lose the round here, and that's not the way you want to see things swing, especially, again, in the hunt for that top spot in the champion tier.
I love that we're seeing Team 2K, kind of the underdogs, the unknown 0-5 record that they've kind of been handed, just really coming in and giving it their all and doing a really good job so far.
Yeah, and while we'll get just a couple weeks left of the season, we won't get to see Team 2K in the regulation for a little while. There will be a playoff, so an opportunity for them to face the other teams in this tier, and then definitely good to see them next season compete in a full set. But now coming into this next attack, already getting harassed in the back of those tanks by Kabuto, who's got just that Winston just tickling and able to take down Tulsa very immediately. It's Nika going down though for Team 2K, which could be a disadvantage for them without that healer. So a 5v5 as it starts to open up, a support down on the other side as T2X on the Lucio falls. Little hold drops. Now the Team 2K really starting to tip the point in their favor.
Yeah, it was a big pick on the Pharah from the mini Remo. He also does get Tracer's garbage as well, and they're able to take this point first again. And they just want to hold on to it, get another 100-0, and end this game quickly.
Shocking though to see Imperial not earn any percentage in that last game and now losing the initial fight here. Not, I guess, what we're used to seeing from them. And again, momentum made with Team 2K trying to settle into the first league game that cost them on Nepal. Obviously, still a 2-1 win for Imperial, so it definitely was close. But getting to win up Kings Row bolstered their confidence, and getting the kills here as Kabuto picks up where he left off, taking down Tulsa, Lil Hulk, and T2X both falling. For Imperial, their support's down once more, and we should see Team 2K comfortably coast into 50% of the point.
That's what it's looked like. Regrets Sin on that Pharah might give him a little bit of a problem. However, looks like they haven't really paid her much mind and haven't really needed to. She hasn't really been able to get a lot of picks. They've done a good job of staying to cover. And things are working out really well for Team 2K right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 3 ultimates for them, and just 1 on the other side, though. Regretson will have the rocket barrage that could be helpful, but now it's 57% of the point gone as Imperial continues to contest. A preemptive sound barrier coming up from Provi just to keep everybody up and alive on the point as the sound barrier from Regretson, or the rocket barrage from Regretson is able to catch Provi. 2 down for Team 2K could make it difficult. Now the Valkyrie coming out from its Nika could handle the bulk of that solo healing while the Lucio's down. The self-destruct won't quite connect. Now Little Hulk falling for Imperial means they won't have that healing either. And 77-78% gone now. The Primal Rage coming out from Kabuto just continue to push back the rest of these Imperial attackers. It's a Primal Rage on the other side trying to juggle the rest of Team 2K, but not a lot of space to work with as Imperial once again starts to lose members on the point.
We see Moo going down. T2X also goes down. And as Team 2K is able to get their players back onto the point quickly, it looks like this is going to be going their way.
Yeah, Valkyrie now coming from Lil Hulk. Last gasp for them trying to keep that contention going and maybe keep whatever remaining members on the point alive. But not really a lot to work with here. I think, actually, as I say that, Moon and Tracer's Garbage both able to combine to get a few of these kills. The control point starts to tip their favor, but they still have quite a bit of work to do to clean up their last remaining defenders of the point. But now, as Provi Gaming does fall, takes a headshot to the face, it's Nika and I believe it's Mini Ramosu just having to back off there, concede the point, and Imperial finally gets their first control percentage of this round, of this game, really.
Yeah, really good job from them, kind of galvanizing, do what they need to do. The Valkyrie, I think, helped a lot. However, on the side of on the side of Team 2K, they have 3 ults right now, and Provi Gaming is not too far away from their 4th ult, so they kind of have the advantage coming in here, and I think one strong push should be able to push it back their way and allow them to take this point.
Yeah, using the self-destruct here, but it's Nika already falling for them, which could make this engagement difficult, honestly. They may have just let that go, but now as Kane comes in and grabs the double, it's the Mercy down on the other side as Tulsa falls, and Team 2K coming back with some serious vengeance, trying to take this back. Ramosu coming in with the Reflect on the Rocket Barrage, takes down Regretson. The sound barrier should wrap it up with some icing on the cake for Team 2K, and as the control point flips back that direction,
get on the point.
the overtime meter finally starts to drop down for them. We'll see if Imperial has any members that can come back in, but it does not look like it. And that will be a initial win there for Team 2K. Congratulations to them coming to the point, coming to the league, and getting the win on an established team. Really impressive.
Yeah, I think the win on Kings Row really helped them, just allowed them to kind of regroup, get their heads back in the game, and they knew exactly what they were fighting for, and they did a good job of doing it. And there's that reflect of the Rocket Barrage. Always fun to see those, and just cleans up, gets a couple more kills after that as well.
Able to wrap up and using the sound barrier provided by Provi Gaming, who really was influential in keeping the team alive throughout this game. Tracer's Garbage not quite able to do enough to get Imperial over the line. Congratulations to Team 2K. We'll get some closing thoughts and look ahead to Week 7. We come back. And there you have it. Congratulations to Team 2K for getting the win over Imperial. Imperial now dropping to 3-3. Team 2K going up to 1-5. But now it's Eternity Esports who's got to be eyeing this game, knowing if they're able to beat Big Throws, they can go up 2 games in the tier and really kind of make some separation there. So, yeah, exciting game, and too bad for Imperial, not quite getting the win, having to go back to the drawing board, but Team 2K coming in and showing up, and a good win from them. Zach, what do you think your biggest takeaway was from that game? I don't know if I'd be like maybe running or something. Do we have Zach? Low? Maybe not. Maybe having some microphone difficulty. But again, just Team 2K coming back from behind their pick on King's Row, able to wrap that up after a solid initial defense, and then wrapping up Oasis very decisively in a 2-0 round. Looking ahead to Week 7 for these teams, it's going to be Imperial, facing off against Big Throws, who play later tonight against the leading Eternity Esports. Team 2K will have a good opportunity to check how they're doing relative to the rest of the league as they go up against Eternity Esports in Week 7, where the map will be Nimbani. So yeah, just exciting so far. Like I said, we've got a few games for you tonight at 9 Eastern. It is Big Throws and Eternity Esports coming at you to start the first of a doubleheader. Right after that, it's Ryan's Rejects and Danny DeVito from the Challenger tier at 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll be there to cast that for you as well, so make sure you tune in for that. You can get a lot of scores, schedules, and standings on our website, OWXL.com, and you can check out which games are upcoming and who's playing who next week, and links to all the games that have happened this week. But if you're on a Twitch channel, you can always just tab over to our archive and check those out as well, or look us up on our YouTube channel. We've got the games there as well, and they're obviously saved there longer than they would be in the Twitch archive. So if you're looking for earlier season games, that's where you will find them. Again, if you're participating in the free-for-all tournament this weekend, registration is closed for that, so those are set. We'll get all the brackets sorted, and be excited to bring that to you on the evening of Saturday, February 17th. Make sure if you have signed up, you are available for that. Set some time aside so we can bring you that tournament. Excited to do that game, or those games rather. So yeah, get in for that. But I think for the time being, that will do it for us. Yeah, solid game all the way around. I enjoy doing champion tier games. Haven't got a chance to do it in a little bit. Not sure what happened to Zach, but hopefully he'll be here to join us later today. But yeah, for the champion tier, for Zach Space 26, Salt and Pepper, and we'll see you next time.